All right, now we're going into erosion. So weathering is the breakdown. Now we have erosion. Erosion is the transportation, the movement. So rock is eroded by the sun, weather, temperature fluctuations. That's what erodes, moves the stuff. So water gets into rocks. It freezes, expands, and breaks apart. Frost action. And when the pieces are small enough, they can be transported or eroded away by wind, water, and glaciers. So wind is only powerful enough to pick up sand, silt, and clay. That's it. It can't pick up pebbles and boulders and stuff. Not that I know of. I mean, if it's super, super, super strong, maybe it could pick up pebbles. Cobbles, maybe not so much. Boulders, it would be like insane amount. Sand at high velocity and sandstorms can damage your skin. It's possible that it can be ripped off. And one of the things I like to bring up is on Mars, there are no trees. There's nothing to stop the sand from getting lifted up in sandstorms. And they have sandstorms that are like 220 miles per hour. That can cause a lot of damage to you if you were there. So one of the things they have to do in Mars is come up with buildings that can withstand that type of breakdown and erosion, because that wind can start to break down whatever it is there, strip it away because of how much sand is in there and is being eroded away, right? In auto body shops, they use sandblasters sometimes to remove the paint off the body of the car. So it is a type of breakdown, but it's more like it takes it off. It takes it away. Wind. When sand erodes rocks, it leaves pits in them. So, right here, when that gets really, really, really going and it hits rocks, it leaves pits. Please, like star or circle or something like that. That might be coming up later. When the sand blows by wind, it's deposited. And when it's deposited, is sorted by grain size. Basically, the biggest, the heaviest fall out first, and then finally the smallest grains go down. They fall last. And when we look at this, like say we're in the desert or even by a beach, we start to see dunes. Dunes show that sorting, where the bigger stuff's on the bottom, the lighter stuff's on the top. When we are looking at dunes, there are two sides to a dune or those little tiny hills. One side is going to call the windward side. That's the side that the wind is coming from, the windward side. And then the other side is called the leeward side. I'm not sure how to give you a hint on this one. It's just the leeward has less sand. There you go, less. There's less on the leeward side. The windward side of the dune is a gentle slope. So that's where most of the deposition is occurring. All the stuff is falling out on the windward side. Whereas all the wind has gone over the leeward side, just the smallest particles are dropping out. So that's going to be a really, really steep side. This is going to come up again later in the year. So maybe starring or highlighting windward, leeward, and understanding those will come in handy for later. So water. We looked at wind, now we're looking at water. Water is powerful enough to pick up pebbles, sand, silt, and clay. So it can pick up all of that. Sometimes, yes, it can pick up boulders and cobbles. It just depends on what's going on, like mass movement and flash floods and stuff like that. Yeah, it can start to pick up those boulders. The boulders aren't going to go very far. Cobbles, they may go a little bit, but it's got to take some force, some speed to it. When water is moving quickly, all the particles are in this suspension. So it's all mixed up, and I lost my suspension thing. So give me a second. All right, found it. So here is my suspension. You can see there's water, obviously water, and then there's some sand and silt and pebbles and stuff. You can see it all in there, right? So when water is moving, I shake it up. This is a suspension. All of it's there. And you already saw some stuff settle out at the bottom, right? So as it slows, the heaviest, the largest, the most dense pebbles, they drop out first. And then the sand. So all my pebbles dropped out in the sand. Like the pebbles dropped out like that. They're all on the bottom for the most part. And then the sand's right there. You can see my nice layer of sand. It's already on there. And then you have silt. Silt is, it's going to take a while, but the silt is going to start to fall out. And the last but not least, it's probably going to take an hour or two for the clay to finally settle out. Even when I was holding it up here, some of the clay was in suspension. That just means everything's mixed up. This right here, what you see right here, this is horizontal sorting. So you're going to see the bigger ones coming out of a river or whatever. It's going to be a lot right there. And then you're going to have the cobbles and then the pebbles and then the sand and then the silt. Please draw this out. This will come in handy when we go into our next units. We have already seen this. We saw this when we did rocks and minerals. Like I said, it all rolls into each other. So all of this goes out. Please write this down. This is very, very important. This is horizontal sorting. Where we have vertical sorting, which is what I kind of demonstrated right here. This is vertical. So say you had that massive flash flood and all this stuff came in. And then it's just going to settle. It came into like a big body of water and it all just dumped in there. And when it dumped in there, the heavy stuff, the gravel will fall down first, then the sand, then the silt, then the water, the clay, and then you have the water on top. This could also, the suspension could be made, say there's an earthquake, everything gets jumbled up and it becomes another solution and then it stops and then everything drops. It goes vertical with the largest, most dense on the bottom with the least dense, smallest at the top. And I went a little too far. So that is it for the notes. Please make sure you draw this and label it vertical sorting. You need to know the difference between vertical sorting and horizontal. Vertical is when it drops straight down. Horizontal is when it comes out from a stream into rivers and lakes. And we're going to go a little bit more in detail with that. So make sure you understand. Horizontal is coming out of the stream into a lake. Vertical is if it has already been in the pond and you shake it up and then it drops straight down. You have the layers, the most dense at the bottom with the least dense at the top. All right. All right, that's it for the notes. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask, and I hope you guys have a great day.